Joining us to discuss all this and much, much more is activist, author, podcast, co-founder of Black Lives Matter, and principal of the Black Futures Lab and its Action Fund, Alicia Garza, also my friend. I'm so thrilled to have you here joining me.
Hey, my dear sister, congratulations. This is such an incredible, incredible moment. I'm so proud of you, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Now, look, we have marched in the streets. We have cried and continue to cry so many tears. You obviously have been there since the beginning, having, launched a hashtag that led to a movement around Black lives. And so now, what are we going to do, right? Like, what exactly can we do to move from the streets and the tweets to some real policy change and action?
Well, what we can do is what people have been doing for a very long time now to make sure that the outcomes of our lives are different. And that's organizing. We have to come together around the things that we care about, develop plans and strategies to address those plans or those issues, and then take action on those plans and strategies. And that's exactly what we do at the Black Futures Lab and the Black to the Future Action Fund. In 2020, we faced the most consequential election cycle in a generation. But we knew that what was going to matter wasn't just in the White House, wasn't just who was going to be in the White House, but it was what we did in 2021. That's exactly why we developed the Build Back Bolder agenda for the Biden-Harris administration in response to their Build Back Better plan. What we wanted to make sure of is that Black communities and the Black voters that changed the balance of power in the Senate, changed the balance of power really in Congress and in the White House, were front and center when it was coming to deciding how it is that we move forward on some of the most pressing issues facing us in our generation, from climate change to dealing with white supremacy and white nationalism to building back an economy and getting real relief and recovery for people who have been devastated by the COVID-19 pandemic and the lack of infrastructure that existed before it. This agenda is really intended to set the floor for what this administration needs to be doing as it relates to Black communities, which, of course, by default, will impact and make better the conditions of all communities in America.
Now, I want to kind of back up for a minute to think about the framework that your policy agenda is centered in. We talk about Black politics and a Black agenda in a lot of different ways in America, right? So there are some of our friends, for example, on Capitol Hill, that have a more moderate take on what Black people need, and a different type of approach to getting the solutions that will change our lives. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the key principles that really shape not only this Black agenda, but the way that you see us being able to do real transformative work that has lasting change for Black people?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, we know that politics is a game of compromise, but somehow Black communities always end up getting thrown under the bus when it comes to getting the things that we need. The truth of the matter is that Black communities are not a monolith, but there is one thing that we all have in common, which is that we are subject to the rigged rules of racism, and being subject to those rigged rules impacts our life chances and our life outcomes. That's why we need better public policy that is looking at three core components. Number one, public policy that is race forward and not race neutral. There's no way to address racism and the rigged rules of racism if you never even acknowledge that they exist in the policies that you're developing. So number one, be race forward as opposed to race neutral. Number two, it's incredibly important to make sure that we're holding government responsible for addressing the challenges that are facing us. Too often, entities are trying to kind of push this off to the private sector for them to deal with. But the challenge with that is that the private sector is not accountable to the electorate. The government is. And that's why the government needs to step up and play a stronger role in regulating bad actors that are devastating and taking advantage of our communities. But also, government needs to step up in terms of directing much needed resources towards the solutions that we need to live well. And then finally, of course, we think that good public policy is progressive. We do not believe, right, that good public policy makes government smaller. We don't believe that good public policy, right, keeps power consolidated in the hands of some people while the rest of us suffer. Good public policy actually has to move us forward from where we've been before. So that's the framework under which we designed the
Yeah.
Black Agenda for 2020, which is impacted and influenced by the largest survey of Black people in America in 154 years, called the Black Census, which we conducted. And then the Build Back Bolder agenda, which is helping to set out the terms for what the first year of this administration needs to look like policy wise.
Now, listen, I have heard Biden and seen, kind of him talk about the Build Back Better agenda. I haven't necessarily watched Vice President Harris and all that she has to say about it. How are they responding to your Build Back Bolder agenda?
Well, it's interesting. Responses were certainly different in January and February than they are right now as we're getting closer to midterms. And I couldn't agree more with the speaker before, who was talking about some of the jockeying and capitulating that is happening around the midterm elections. And I think one thing that's really important for us to understand is that real people need real solutions now, and we can't keep organizing ourselves around a boogeyman that has no plan, no purpose, no proposals, and wants no progress. The way to win the midterms, the way to keep our communities engaged, is to make sure that you're winning real things for our communities. From immigration to climate crisis to the economy, we can't keep trying to organize ourselves around what the other side will do, especially if we're not putting
Yeah.
out a bold and proactive vision that can win hearts and minds across the country.
I hear that. Look, you ruffle quite a few feathers of the white nationalists and others. I know it was maybe maybe it was early last winter. You shared publicly that the FBI had showed up at your door telling you that you were subject of a threat of some crazy person that they had arrested. You were on a list. And I wonder, it is stressful doing this work on behalf of the people. Certainly, there are threats to it. And I wonder, what are you doing to stay sane, to feed your spirit? I listened to your podcast with your homegirl, Aijin Poo, called Sunstorm, and I love the tone and energy you have about trying to be empathic, trying to kind of reach out and have some, brighter energy than maybe what we see today. Do share with us, how are you pushing through, and how can others push through as they are too on the front lines of, Black Lives Matter, fighting for Black liberation and justice, and all the above?
Well, the first thing that's important for us to remember is that this work is hard. And I think sometimes we try to ignore that and pass it off because, we're taught that this work is heroic, and it is. We're taught that this work, right, is liberatory, and it's in a lot of ways full of sacrifice, which it is, but it's also hard. We're trying to create a world that doesn't exist yet. And so just acknowledging that, I think, sometimes makes it a little bit easier to navigate. But also, to be honest, understanding that the work is hard means that you have to understand that being resilient in the face of things that are hard takes daily work and daily practice. Aisha, I try to make it a rule that every single day I need to have at least one deep, good belly laugh, whether it's watching, trashy reality television or hanging out with my friends. I need that deep belly laugh to keep going for another day. I also make sure to move my
Yes.
body every single day because I got to get out that nervous and anxious and sad energy. And then, of course, the other thing, Aisha, is I try to build the kind of community where we take care of each other. Lots of times people will talk about, oh, the way to get through is take a bubble bath or do yoga classes. And yes, that's okay. But what if we created communities where we cared for each other and made sure that each other were making it through? So, for those of you who are watching, who know me, and I love to kick it and make sure that we're having a good time as we're working hard. You're always welcome in my backyard living room. But if you're not local to me, just make sure that you're finding one thing every day that brings you back to your purpose and what it is that you really care about.
Oh, I love that, and I love you. Alicia Garza, thank you so much for joining us. People, pick up her book, Purpose of Power, if you haven't. It just came out in paperback. And Alicia, we definitely want to have you back again. Thanks so much.
I would love it. Thank you so much.